Today, the curtain falls on icons who moved our hearts, commanded our stadiums, and soundtracked our lives. A 32-year-old Olympic star, taken in a tragic, blinding flash. A rock and roll rebel, gone too soon at just 48. And a 94-year-old sports hero who survived one of history's darkest national disasters, finally resting in peace. These are the untold, final chapters of the legends we just lost.
Music licensing
The cruel twist,
reimagined.
Sanat Namath. We begin with a heartbreaking reality check from the grueling world of elite sports. Sanat Namath was only 32 years old, a powerhouse Hungarian wrestler. She stood tall on the world's ultimate stage at the 2016 Rio Olympics. She spent her entire youth pushing her body to the absolute limit, fighting for every single inch of mat space, and inspiring a whole new generation of athletes. In the ring, she was the ultimate symbol of strength and survival. But outside the arena, her toughest opponent was a random, cruel twist of fate. In a devastating split second, Sanat suffered a severe, fatal fall. There were no flashing lights, no roaring crowds, just a sudden, tragic accident that inflicted injuries her finely tuned body simply couldn't overcome. At just 32, a lifetime of unfinished dreams, future coaching plans, and golden aspirations vanished in a single afternoon. Her passing leaves a profound, shattering silence in the Olympic community, proving once again that the thread of life is devastatingly fragile. The quiet melody, Yanni Wickham. From the stadium mats, we shift to a sudden, jarring silence in the music industry. The incredibly talented Finnish singer and pop rock icon, Yanni Wickham, has passed away unexpectedly at the age of just 48. Yanni wasn't just a vocalist. He was a soulful storyteller whose raw music defined the early 2000s for millions of fans. Rising to fame on a massive national talent stage, his gritty, authentic voice and acoustic guitar quickly catapulted him into multi-platinum success. He captured the unedited emotion of everyday human life, making him a household name. But behind the heavy touring schedules, the roaring packed arenas, and the blinding stage lights, Yanni fought his own quiet battles. His sudden departure has sent shockwaves through the European music scene. The guitars have officially gone quiet, and a voice that brought comfort to millions is now just an echo in the wind. The academic juggernaut, Joanne Glasser. In the United States, higher education has lost an absolute titan. Joanne Glasser, a legendary academic administrator and a true force of nature, has taken her final bow. Here's the catch. Joanne wasn't your typical university executive. She was a historic trailblazer. She shattered the glass ceiling as the first ever female president of Eastern Kentucky University from 2001 to 2007, before taking over the reins at Bradley University until 2015. In a corporate academic world heavily dominated by men, she led with an unshakable fire. She raised hundreds of millions of dollars to build state-of-the-art facilities, but her real legacy was human. She famously spent her days walking the campuses, learning thousands of students' names by heart, and cheering from the front rows of their games. She was a fierce advocate for the youth. Today, the flags on her beloved campuses fly at half-staff, honoring a lifetime dedicated to lighting the way for others. The Cold War speedster, Heinz Erbstasser. Next, we travel back to an era when the sports track was a literal geopolitical battleground. Heinz Erbstasser, the legendary German Olympic sprinter, has passed away at the age of 86. Imagine running at the 1964 Tokyo Olympics and the explosive 1968 Mexico City Olympics during the absolute peak of the Cold War. Every single sprint Erbstasser ran carried the crushing weight and intense pressure of a deeply divided nation. He was a master of pure, unadulterated speed, dominating the 100-meter and 200-meter dashes with clinical precision. For years, he was one of the fastest men alive, a true juggernaut of European track and field. But time is the one opponent no sprinter can outrun. After a quiet, deeply dignified retirement far away from the flashing cameras of his youth, the old Olympian has finally crossed his ultimate finish line. The Emerald of Exile, Azar Azima. In the world of international music and cultural heritage, we say goodbye to a voice that carried the heavy weight of an entire century. The iconic Iranian singer, Azar Azima, has passed away at the incredible milestone age of 98. Azar's life story reads like an epic Hollywood script. She rose to fame during a golden, cinematic era of art, capturing the souls of millions with her traditional and hauntingly beautiful melodies. But when political storms completely rewrote the history of her homeland, her music transformed from pure art into a sanctuary of survival. Forced to live through decades of exile, her songs became the ultimate soundtrack of nostalgia, love, and deep longing for millions of displaced souls around the globe. At 98, the final melody has ended, but her unyielding spirit remains permanently etched into human history. The icon of true grit, Bob Blair. And finally, we close with a story of human resilience so profound, it will stay with you long after this video ends. Bob Blair, the legendary New Zealand cricket icon, has died peacefully at the age of 94. But to understand the true weight of his name, we must travel back to a pitch-black Christmas Eve in 1953. A young, 21-year-old Bob Blair was thousands of miles away in South Africa, playing a massive, high-stakes international match for his country. While he was on the field, a horrific train disaster occurred back home at Tangier, killing 151 people. Among the dead was Bob Blair's young fiancée, Narissa Love. The next day, the entire world assumed Blair wouldn't show up. The stadium flags were at half-staff, and the atmosphere was heavy with grief. But in an act of legendary courage that came to define the ultimate ideal of true grit, Bob Blair walked out onto the pitch to bat. The entire stadium wept openly as he took a stand. He chose to fight through the blinding pain. He survived that monumental grief, went on to become a titan of cricket, and coached generations. Today, at 94, the legendary survivor has finally put down his bat. A story of ultimate heartbreak, unshakable resilience, and an immortal legacy. 6 lives. 6 extraordinary journeys. From the Olympic rings to the world of rock and roll, higher education, and the grief-stricken stadiums of history. They remind us that our time here is temporary, but the footprints we leave behind can last forever. Which of these legends touched your life the most? Let us know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to help us honor and protect the memories of those who shaped our world. Until next time, stay safe and keep their stories alive.